Hi, my name is Jay Li Huang, and this is Cracking Down the Tank Man, China's censorship of Chinese pro-democracy movements. So the topics that I'll be talking about will be the Tank Man, which is a photo of a man standing in front of a line of tanks. It is a symbol of pro uh, pro-democracy and anti-oppression. And the Tiananmen protests, which are a bunch of student-led protests that led up to the Tank Man photo being taken, and Chinese censorship in China, kind of repetitive. I'm sorry, I just noticed. Um, of different various forms of media that go against the national agenda of China and the People's Republic of China, in the People's Republic of China. So the humanities field studies that covers my research project is history because I'm looking at a past event and how this past event has impacted culturally the people of China today. So this is my object of study. This is the Tank Man. It is a young Beijing man standing in front of a line of tanks, June 6, 1989. So this photo has been widely reproduced throughout the world as a symbol against oppression and as a symbol of pro-democracy in China. Let's see. My research question is how impactful the Tank Man photo and Tiananmen protests have been in contesting the People's Republic of China's doctrine. My primary argument is the Tank Man photo continues to persist in the minds of the Chinese people, but censorship and suppression of the photo has removed it from an impactful role that could incite the entire population in protest. Um, so after reading multiple scholarly sources on the perseverance of the photo and its ability to remain in the minds of the Chinese people, I kind of think that the photo has lost its impactfulness. It's in in the way it goes against the People's Republic of China's doctrine and way of thinking, and the way they try to enforce this way of thinking to its people. So even though the photo has persisted, I feel as if the photo isn't really known to a lot of people in China due to censorship, and to the people that do know of the photo, they kind of use it as a simple act of defiance rather than the symbol of pro democracy that it should be or it used to be. The secondary sources that I use are the following sources. So I have an article by Margaret E. Roberts called China's Great Firewall. It it gives examples of how the photo of the Tank Man and the Tiananmen protests have been kind of suppressed by this net called the Great Firewall that catches certain keywords in the internet in China. And another source that I have is Jason Ng's blocked on Weibo what gets suppressed on China's version of Twitter and why. And this book gives an interesting example of how a certain province in China called the Xinjiang province got its entire internet access cut off because a lot of its people began rioting and protesting, and because of the web access being cut off, a lot of the other people of China didn't realize that these protests and riots were happening. And I thought it was a crazy good example of how effective Chinese censorship is. And another source that I'm using is called The Persistent Memory of Historic Wrongs in China, a discussion of demands for reappraisal by Pils Ava. So this source gives interesting examples of how China's kind of has reappraised or rebranded what an enemy of the state is after the Tiananmen protests, and I kind of use that in my paper. So continuing, another source that I use is Hubbard Jennifer's Appropriating Iconicity: Why Tank Man Still Matters. So this source gives me a lot of examples of how the photo has been remembered and what people in China have tried to do to keep spreading this photo and remembering this photo, even though it's being heavily suppressed. My means of analysis. So, I intend to look at the ways Tankman and the knowledge of the Tiananmen protests have spread, even though it's been suppressed for the last 30 years. And I also intend to learn about, the personal and scholarly interpretations of the photo and the protests. I want to know what people in China think, what intellectuals think. about the photo? Do they even know about the photo, etc., etc.? I haven't finished my draft yet, so I don't have a conclusion, but I am enjoying the process so far. Thanks for listening, guys, and goodbye.